Terlepas dari siaran program-program menarik di RTM, jom saksikan semuanya di RTM Klik.
Emergency declared in Kalimantan. Bus for migrants overturned in horrific Mexico crash. Good afternoon and Salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Renee Loretta Fong and you're watching World Today. Authorities in central Kalimantan, Indonesia have declared a state of emergency for 10 days, starting yesterday, following severe air pollution and reduced visibility caused by ongoing forest and land fires. Provincial Governor H. Sugianto Sabran said the air pollution index reached hazardous levels on 3rd October, with visibility dropping to less than 1,500 meters on 2nd October due to thick smoke. According to Sugianto, data collected from 1st January to 2nd October revealed a concerning total of 38,104 detected hot spots in the region. This has led to 3,230 recorded instances of forest and land fires. To address this emergency, authorities have allocated a budget of 110 billion rupiah to intensify firefighting operations and provide mobile health services to the affected population. The statement came on the same day that Indonesia's Environment Minister Siti Nurbaya Bakar said forest fires in parts of the country have declined and no haze had been detected moving to Malaysia. Her remarks came as Southeast Asian agriculture and forestry ministers agreed to take collective action to minimize and eventually eliminate crop burning in the region. A bus carrying migrants overturned in southern Mexico on Friday, leaving at least 18 passengers dead and 27 injured. The latest fatal road crash involving US-bound migrants. According to a statement from the prosecutor's office in Oaxaca State, the dead, 3 of them minors, were from Venezuela and Haiti. The statement said that the accident occurred at around dawn on a highway linking Oaxaca and the neighboring state of Puebla, adding that the injured were taken to hospital for treatment. Images released by state authorities showed the wreckage of the bus lying on its side on a highway winding through hills. According to Mexico's National Immigration Agency, 55 foreigners were on board the bus, with Peruvians were also among the victims. Thousands of migrants from different countries have been traveling across Mexico in buses, overcrowded trailers and atop freight trains in an attempt to reach the US-Mexican border. They run the risk of fatal accidents, kidnapping by criminal groups and extortion by corrupt officials. More than 8,200 migrants have died or disappeared in the Americas since 2014. Most of them while trying to reach the United States via Mexico. The US-Mexican border is the world's deadliest migration land route, with 686 deaths and disappearances in 2022. At least 42 people were killed after a glacial lake burst its banks and triggered flash floods in the Indian Himalayas this week. Government officials on Friday said rescuers are still conducting search and rescue operations for almost 150 missing. Heavy rainfall since Wednesday caused the glacial Lonak Lake to overflow and spurred catastrophic flooding, creating a fast-moving current in a river near the village of Teesta Bazar. Roads and pathways were consequently covered with silt and stones and stuck vehicles. The Weather Department said Sikkim received 101 millimeters of rain in the first 5 days of October, more than double normal levels, unleashing floods worse than the one in October 1960 1968, in which an estimated 1,000 people died. It was one of the worst disasters in the region in more than 50 years, and the latest in a series of extreme weather events that have caused widespread damage in South Asia's Himalayas, blamed by scientists on climate change. A military court sentenced a Democratic Republic of Congo MP to death on Friday for treason and involvement with M23 rebel movement, a verdict his lawyer denounced as based on ethnic hatred. The death penalty is often handed down in Congo but has not been applied for 20 years and is systematically commuted to life imprisonment. The public prosecutor had in August requested life imprisonment for Edward Mwanga Chuchu, 70. Mwanga Chuchu, who was not present at the sentencing, was found guilty of illegal possession of weapons and munitions of war, as well as treason and participation in the M23 insurrectionary movement. The Tutsi-led M23 militia has captured swaths of territory in the Congo's North Kivu province. Independent United Nations experts, the Kinshasa government and several Western nations, including the United States and France, accused Rwanda of actively backing the M23. Rwanda, however, strongly denies the charge. Taken in for questioning in early March, Mwanga Chuchu was first held in Kinshasa's main prison, Makala, before being transferred to the Ndolo military prison. His co-defendant, Robert Muchamala, a police captain prosecuted for violation of orders, was acquitted by the court, which ordered his immediate release. Mwanga Chuchu's lawyer said he will appeal the verdict, calling it a trial based on ethnic hatred and deductions. Thomas Gamakolo said that it had never been proven that Mwanga Chuchu had links with Rwanda and was presumed guilty because he belonged to the Tutsi ethnic group. A Colombian court on Friday denied a prosecutor's request to shelve an investigation against former President Alvaro Uribe for alleged bribery. The Supreme Court of Bogota considered that there is sufficient evidence to continue with the investigations against one of the most influential politicians in the country for the crimes of bribery and fraud. This is the third time that a court rejects a request from the prosecution to archive the investigation against the former president in the midst of a convoluted process of advances and setbacks that began in 2012. Following the decision, the prosecutor's office has 6 months to present the indictment against Uribe or request the case to be shelved again. It could be the first time that a former president is called to criminal trial in the country's history for crimes that are punishable by up to 8 years in prison. In 2012, Uribe filed a complaint against leftist congressman Ivan Cepeda, accusing him of an alleged plot hatched with false witnesses to link him to far-right paramilitary groups responsible for atrocious human rights violations in their clandestine war against the rebels. But the Supreme Court not only refrained from prosecuting Cepeda, it began investigating the former president in his capacity as a member of Parliament in 2018. The court suspected that it was Uribe and not his opponent who tried to manipulate witnesses to discredit Cepeda. The senior magistrates went further and in August 2020 ordered the house arrest of the former president to facilitate investigation. The witness tampering case is the tip of the iceberg of other investigations that link Uribe with paramilitaries and drug traffickers. Demonstrators in Guatemala blocked roads for a fourth straight day and extended the protests to new areas as they denounced what they called a campaign to prevent anti-corruption crusading President-elect Bernardo Arevalo from taking power. The mainly indigenous protesters are using vehicles and tree branches to cut off key roads leading to the borders with Mexico, El Salvador and Honduras. Arevalo, who is due to take office in January, is a political outsider who scored a shock upset win at the polls in August. His win and his pledge to fight graft is seen here as having alarmed an old guard political elite. So far, the roadblock protests have been concentrated in the west of the country. However, it continues to spread to northern and southern part of the country since Thursday. The protesters demanded the resignation of Attorney General Consuelo Porras, the prosecutor leading an anti-corruption unit Rafael Corochiche, and Judge Freddy Orellana. Arevalo has faced obstacles ever since he survived the first round vote in June as prosecutors moved against his party, alleging irregularities in its founding and trying to suspend it. Prosecutor Corochiche last week sent security forces to the country's highest election court to seize boxes of voting records from the election. Coming up next, France closes 7 schools over bedbug infestations. Britain's main opposition Labour Party on Friday welcomed a big local election win in Scotland as a sign its electoral fortunes were changing ahead of a United Kingdom general election. Labour needs to win back some of the 40 seats it lost in Scotland in 2015 if it is to have a chance of ousting Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's Conservative government at a UK election likely to be held next year. The result takes the Labour Party's tally of seats in Scotland from 1 to 2 after it was all but wiped out by the Scottish Nationalist Party (SNP) at the 2015 election. Labour leader Keir Starmer hailed the victory by nearly 59% of the vote as seismic and said the result sent a clear message that this changed Labour Party could deliver the change people wanted. The by-election in the Rutan Glen and Hamilton West seat southeast of Glasgow came after SNP lawmaker Margaret Ferrier was pushed out over a breach of COVID-19 regulations. Labour candidate Michael Shanks won 17,845 votes, well ahead of the 8,399 polled by his SNP rival. The result follows a drop in popularity in Scotland for the pro-independence SNP following the resignation of Nicola Sturgeon as party leader and Scotland's First Minister. France has been forced to shut 7 schools over growing concerns over an infestation of bedbugs. Education Minister Gabriel Attal said Friday that bedbugs were detected at various levels in 17 institutions, 7 institutions of which are closed for this reason. The French government has held a series of meetings this week to examine surging numbers of reported bedbugs cases at a time when France is hosting the Rugby World Cup and preparing to host the Paris 2024 Olympics. Earlier, the Education Ministry said in a statement that 5 schools with a total of 1,500 students had been closed. Then, authorities announced 2 schools, one in Marseille and the other in Villefranche-sur-Saône outside Lyon in southeastern France, had been shut down for cleaning. 1/10 of all French households are believed to have had a bedbug problem over the past few years, usually requiring a pest control operation, costing several hundred euros, which often needs to be repeated. The blood-sucking insects have been spotted in the Paris metro, high-speed trains and at Paris's Charles de Gaulle airport. However, individual cases have not been confirmed by the authorities, and a probe by Paris transport operator RATP had found no bedbugs on its services. Amazon's first pair of satellites blasted into orbit on Friday, initiating the company's plan to build a network of satellites in low Earth orbit. A United Launch Alliance, Alliance ULA Atlas V rocket carrying the proto-flight mission for Amazon Satellite Network project Kuiper lifted off at 2:06 p.m. Friday Eastern Time from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. According to Amazon, the two prototype satellites launched on Friday, Kuipersat 1 and Kuipersat 2, are the first iterations of more than 3,200 satellites project Kuiper plans to manufacture and deploy over the next 6 years. Two prototype satellites will help the Project Kuiper team improve the technology and operations required to deliver fast, affordable broadband from space. Project Kuiper aims to provide high-speed internet access anywhere in the world. The project plans to help close the digital divide by delivering fast, affordable broadband to a wide range of customers, including consumers, businesses, government agencies, and other organizations operating in places without reliable connectivity. Amazon is catching up with SpaceX, which has grown its Starlink satellite internet service to more than 2 million customers. Amazon's first production satellites are on track for launch in the first half of 2024, and it expects to be in beta testing with early commercial customers by the end of 2024. Qatar Tourism, in collaboration with the Geneva International Motor Show, GIMS, is set to ignite the automotive passion of Qatar with the inaugural edition of GIMS Qatar, scheduled to run until 14th October. Spanning over 10,000 square meters at the Doha Exhibition and Convention Center, DCC, the exhibition will host 31 renowned automotive brands, including Toyota, Lexus, Porsche, Volkswagen, Lamborghini, BMW, Kia, Audi, McLaren, Mercedes-Benz, VinFast, Chery, and much more. Alongside the main exhibition, GIMS Qatar 2023 will create the ultimate automotive festival of automotive excellence in Qatar, with 4 immersive experiences taking place across some of the most prominent tourism destinations in the country. These include a future design forum at the National Museum of Qatar, thrilling off-road adventures at Sea Line, exhilarating ride and drive experiences at the Lusail International Circuit, an exquisite gallery of classic automobiles, and a grand parade of automotive excellence along the iconic Lusail Boulevard. Showcasing some of the best cars ever made and top concourse winners, this exhibit is a must-attend event for all discerning classic car buyers, collectors, and enthusiasts. The Geneva International Motor Show has been a springboard for the future of mobility since 1905. It is widely recognized as the most important motor show in Europe and is one of the most prestigious and influential shows in the world. Coming up in sports, Aaron and Wu Yik fizzle out in the semi-final. Rhythmic gymnast Ng Jo Yi had butterflies in her stomach during her first routine on her Asian Games debut, but thankfully she managed to stay calm and regain her composure to dance her way into the final of individual all-around event. The 17-year-old accumulated 85.150 points to be placed 14th after 4 apparatus in the qualifying rounds at the Huang Long Sports Center Gymnasium, and be among the 23 finalists out of the 30 who competed yesterday. The double gold medalist at the 2022 Birmingham Commonwealth Games in the individual ball and ribbon event scored 28.050 points in the hoop event, 28.900 points in the ball event, 28.200 points in clubs event, and 28.050 points in the ribbon event. Jo Yi also described the atmosphere at the Asian Games arena as being calmer than at the World Championships in Valencia, Spain in August.
The result was good. I'm satisfied. I hope tomorrow will be same like today. I think the most important I have to improve my confidence because I think I'm still not enough confident for my routine. So to train my confidence, like before out, I talk to myself. I can do it. I can.
National men's doubles pair Aaron Chia and So Wei-Yik had to be satisfied with just the bronze medal on their Asian Games debut after crashing out in the semi-finals. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics bronze medalists had their ASEAN journey cut short after losing 17-21 and 12-21 to world number 3 Sattwisaraj Ranken Reddy and Chirag Shetty of India at the Binjang Gymnasium last night. World number 5 Aaron and Wei-Yik have now suffered 2 straight defeats to the Indian pair in 10 encounters, with their previous loss coming at the 2023 Indonesian Open. Aaron attributed their defeat this time to committing unforced errors and a below-par performance. Meanwhile, Wei-Yik said they won't let the defeat affect their morale and vowed to bounce back strongly for the 2024 Paris Olympics. Aaron Wei-Yik, the 2022 world champions, were the only Malaysian shuttlers to make the semi-finals after all the others crashed out in the early rounds, despite the Badminton Association of Malaysia, BAM, setting a gold medal target in the men's team event. After snatching the 2022 Hangzhou Asian Games men's singles gold, national squash ace Ng Yen Yao is more fired up in his mission to break into the world's top 10. The 25-year-old athlete, now ranked world number 18, said he wanted to achieve this target by June next year at the latest.
Buat season ni memang target nak achieve dalam ranking top 10 dunia lagi. So itu sasaran untuk season ni. Hasil sasaran pertama untuk menang Asian Games ni dah tercapai. So lepas ni memang fokus untuk target break dalam top 10 lah dalam masa season ni. So by May or June next year, hopefully I'll be in the top 10.
Ng Yao said his focus now was preparing for the Malaysia Ace Cup 2023 to be held in Seremban next month, where he is eyeing gold. The 2021 Asian Individual Championships winner is also harboring hopes of seeing squash being contested in the Los Angeles Olympic Games in 2028. Meanwhile, the Squash Rackets Association of Malaysia, SRAM, has described the national squash squad as the best performing team in the Malaysian contingent for winning 3 golds, 1 silver and 1 bronze at the Asian Games. Team manager Muhammad Navzahizam Adnan said this feat almost matched the squash squad's achievement in the Asian Games in Guangzhou, China in 2010. Navzahizam said what was most heartening was that this year's team comprised young players who can certainly shoulder the country's challenge in the next Asian Games. The 3 goals were contributed by the women's teams, S. Siva Sangari in women's singles and Ng Yen Yao in men's singles, while the silver came from mixed doubles pair Aifa Azman, Muhammad Shafiq Kamal, and the bronze from the men's team. Up next in our offbeat segment, Assassin's Creed Mirage brings Baghdad's golden age back to life. Tokyo-based startup Subsea Industries has spent the past 2 years developing a 4.5-meter-tall 4-wheeled robot with a passing resemblance to Mobile Suit Gundam from the wildly popular Japanese animation series. The robot is set to be unveiled at the Japan Mobility Show in late October. Subsea Industries later plans to sell 5 units of the robot for about $2.7 million each. Called Archaex after the avian dinosaur Archaeopteryx, the robot has cockpit monitors that receive images from cameras hooked up to the exterior so that the pilot can maneuver the arms and hands with joysticks from inside its torso. Tsubame CEO Ryo Yoshida said he wanted to create something that combined elements from Japan's strengths in animation, robotics, and automobiles. The 3.5-ton robot has two modes, the upright robot mode and vehicle mode, in which it can travel at up to 10 km per hour. Yoshida plans to build and sell 5 of the machines as a toy for the well-heeled robot fan, but hopes they could one day be used for disaster relief or in the space industry. Iraqi gamers were excited to see the beauty of the Abbasid era in Baghdad showcased in the latest release of Assassin's Creed Mirage as they eagerly try out the game upon its release. The video game company Ubisoft has promised to bring medieval Baghdad back to life as the setting for Assassin's Creed Mirage, the latest in the franchise of action-based stealth games famous for meticulous world building. While the game aims to balance authenticity with entertainment, Ubisoft said it is also a chance for a wider audience to learn about a city that many in the West only know from contemporary events.
كلش يعني منتظرين كنا فد لعبة أو فد ميديا تظهر الثقافة الإسلامية والعربية، ثقافة العراق، تاريخ العراق، تاريخ هاي المنطقة اللي هو مو بس عبارة عن إرهاب وحروب ودمار، فد شيء أكو جمالية، أكو روحية، أكو حياة بهاي المنطقة.
Set in the 9th century, the newest Assassin's Creed invites gamers to explore the city at the height of its power, a time of ambition and political turmoil. The game will be the first in the Assassin's Creed series with original Arabic dubbing. It was released on 5th October. Turning seawater into clean, drinkable water is one solution to meeting an ever-growing global demand. However, desalination process, which is essentially stripping seawater of salts and other minerals, is very energy intensive. Norwegian company Waterize has patented a deep water solution using an energy efficient reverse osmosis filtration process. Unlike conventional osmosis process, Waterize's offshore Subsea desalination plant sits 400 meters below sea level and uses the hydrostatic pressure of the water above it to significantly reduce energy demands.
The hydrostatic pressure, harnessing it, utilizing it, we have from the nature inlet pressure on the membranes, and what we simply do, use pump on the other side to create an under pressure, suction pressure. So we are pulling the water through rather than pushing it through the membranes. Waterize says their technology reduces the need for coastal land by up to 90%, while reducing energy consumption by up to 40%, resulting in lower carbon dioxide emissions. And with the subsea plant at a depth of 400 meters, they say the impact to marine life is reduced to a minimum. The subsea module is connected to land by an umbilical cable that provides power and communications, and a pipeline to transport water from seabed to land. The standard subsea unit produces 50 million litres of fresh water per day that could supply a city of 300,000 to 400,000 people. Peter Wright believes Waterize's technology could be part of the solution to global water crisis. The company says they are now developing partnerships around the world with organizations looking to use their technology. And that concludes today's edition of World Today. In our top story, emergency declared in Kalimantan over severe smog. Till then, I'm Renee Loretta Fong, Malaysia Madani. Tekad perpaduan penuhi harapan. Thanks for watching and have a lovely weekend.